Was RFK trying to tell us something about Israel? I don't know. You look at these letters and you tell me. This is one letter from 1963 from the Attorney General of the United States to Mr. Robert Kennedy himself. This is for educational purposes only. There was a decision being made by RFK himself requiring the American Zionist Council, aka Israel, to register as an agent of the Israeli government, saying that I trust that the Justice Department will not be deterred from making an impartial ruling in this matter. Americans of whatever faith believe firmly that America is their country and America alone. But then you look at letters like this that's saying that making that decision will risk offending whose opinion in the US? As you can see, this is another letter from Senator Paul H. Douglas to RFK as well. As you can see, saying the same exact thing. And still to this day, it has not happened. But you know what's pretty ironic is the fact that that same exact group, aka them, can't say their name out loud here on TikTok, is openly confident that a handful of pro-Israel groups funds political campaigns in support of individual candidates in US elections, led by the WHO, a powerful force in American politics. Before the 2024 election, WHO plans to spend tens of millions of dollars against congressional candidates, primarily Democrats, whom it deems insufficiently supportive of Israel. Most notably members of the Squad, the group of progressive representatives who are particularly vocal in their criticism of Israel's offensive in Gaza. And one might ask themselves, what does RFK and Israel really have in common? Well, ironically, Anthony Blinken. He is currently serving as the 71st United States Secretary of State, and he previously served as Deputy National Security Advisor from 2013 to 2015 and Deputy Secretary of State from 2015 to 2017 under President Barack Obama. Blinken was previously National Security Advisor to then Vice President Joe Biden from 2009 to 2013. How ironic. But wait, during the Clinton administration, Blinken served in the State Department and in senior positions on the National Security Council from 1994 to 2001. He advocated for the 2003 invasion of Iraq while serving as the Democratic Staff Director of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee from 2002 to 2008. He was also a foreign policy advisor for Joe Biden's 2008 presidential campaign before advising the Obama-Biden presidential transition. Now, why is that important, one might say? Well, because Anthony Blinken is the stepson of Mr. Pazar. Pazar worked for the United Nations in New York and Paris. He returned to Washington in 1960 to become a member of John F. Kennedy's Economic and Foreign Policy Task Force, where he was also an advisor to the State Department, the Senate, and House committees. And as a lawyer, Pazar's clients included many Fortune 500 companies and many known business leaders of the 20th and 21st century. So what really happened to RFK and JFK, one might ask? Well, when you just so happen to look at a list of US senators that have received money from pro-Israel from 1990 to 2024, you might see none other than Mr. Joe Biden in first place with $5,736,000, and none other than Hillary Clinton herself in third place. I'm sure that's not a coincidence, right? I'm not going to say that they had any affiliation with what happened to RFK and JFK, but can you guess who all of their top contributors over the last election were? These are all your Republican House representatives, okay? These are all your Democratic House leadership, okay? Can you guess who their top contributors were? This is your Democratic Senate leadership, right? Can you guess who their top contributors were? This is your Republican Senate leadership. Can you guess who their top contributors were? Because God, just like Joe Biden over the years, all of these individuals have received money from pro-Israel as well. And as you can clearly see, it's not just one political party. Right there, Mitch McConnell, $1,954,000. John McCain, at one time a Republican candidate. Ted Cruz, Charles Schumer, even Marco Rubio. The list goes on. Are you putting two and two together yet? If you're not, this is Mike Gallagher, a Republican representative, the specific person who sponsored the original TikTok ban bill that couldn't get passed through the Senate. I'm sure there's no coincidence, right? The Kennedy family wanted everybody to know, but nobody would listen. Do you know why nobody would listen? Well, let's just say they're not here anymore because of those incidents. I'm just saying, think about what decision you make in this upcoming election, because it can quite literally turn the tables on who's really in control.